All right, let's talk about prices because as we are now just 11 days from Donald Trump starting his second presidential term, Joe Biden's presidency coming to an end, prices, consumer prices are again in focus. And Donald Trump has admitted again, this is now not a one-off. Trump is admitting again, he's probably not going to bring prices down. Now, this is not a new thing. We already talked about how in the recent Time magazine interview, Trump acknowledged it's hard to bring prices down. He acknowledged it after running a campaign for 2 years on I'm going to bring prices down. Here is Trump again at Mar-a-Lago. This was the thing a couple days ago, which we covered. We didn't talk about this clip. This is Trump being asked, you ran on bringing prices down. You told Time magazine not so easy to do. Are you going to bring prices down? Here is Donald Trump's answer.
Vowed to bring down the prices at grocery stores very fast.
Yeah, we won't do it
But then
fast.
you recently told Time magazine that bringing down prices would be very hard. So what can the American people expect when you get into office?
It's always
When
hard to
can they
bring
go
down
the
prices when
grocery
somebody
store?
else has screwed something up like they did. But we'll bring them down. We'll get them down. Energy is going to bring down prices. We're going to have a lot of energy. And energy is what brought it up. Energy and their bad spending
There's going to be so much energy. It's going to be coming out of Trump's ears.
is what brought it up. And energy is going to bring it down. We're going to have prices down. I think you're going to see some pretty drastic price reductions. As an example, food, bacon, ham, apples, everything has gone through the roof. It's
Bananas.
one of the reasons I won. So as you know, I said it, inflation was one of the reasons I won. But I think the biggest reason I won was the fact that they are allowing prisoners to come into our country. They released them.
Okay, so now we get off track. The critical aspect of this is, I'm going to bring it down. But it's hard to bring prices down when somebody else brings them up. This is signature Donald Trump. He makes some obviously impossible promise during the campaign. I'll get prices down in raw numbers, not just the increase will slow. It's I will get prices down. And remember the whacked prediction from Trump that he would bring down energy prices by 50%. We'll get to that. He makes the promise. He then hopes that it will be amplified as something he will do. Oftentimes, friendly media will amplify it. And then after they vote for him, it's sort of like a never mind. Tougher than I thought. Biden really screwed me. Now, there are two parts here that I think are of critical importance to understand. First of all, not only is Trump's economic policy package unlikely to reduce prices or even slow the rate at which the prices are going up, Trump's policies, as promised, are going to increase prices. We've talked about that. Secondly, if Trump really did find a way to reduce prices in raw numbers, to reduce energy prices 50%, it would signal a disaster for the American economy. And I'm going to talk about that. Trump is talking about slapping tariffs on China, Canada, Mexico. These are some of the biggest sources of what's on our shelves. China when it comes to products, Canada and Mexico more when it comes to the grocery store. Fresh vegetables, as Trump calls them, fruit, meat, a lot of it comes from across our borders. And economists know, because this is what they do, if you put tariffs on these countries, it's going to push grocery prices up. It's going to push the prices of electronics up. It's not going to go down. It's basic cause and effect. If you make it more expensive for suppliers to import something or to produce grain or whatever, who's going to pay for it in the end? The consumer is going to pay for it. Secondly, and this is the critical part that so few seem to understand, price reductions, the likes of which Trump is talking about, would not be desirable. If you actually start to see deflation, the way that Trump is talking about it, eggs will be objectively cheaper in raw numbers. Apples, as Trump talks about, butternut squash, whatever. When it comes to that level of price reduction, you would really only see that in disastrous economic circumstances. It would be because of some major calamity that all of a sudden consumer prices would go down by that much. Reducing the rate at which prices are increasing, okay. There we're just talking about getting inflation down to and sustaining it at the generally desirable 2 to 3%. If you actually saw this level of price reduction, it can only happen because of a massive, it may be worse than the 2008 recession. We would be talking about a scenario somewhere between 2008 recession and 1929 depression, and energy prices down 50%, forget about it. So what would make more sense for Trump to say and to talk about, and of course he would never do this, no, Democrats don't do this either, no politician would talk about this, would be to say, listen, we have an economy that for 40 years has been increasingly based on the idea that we do import stuff. We get stuff from China. We have partners. A lot of the products that end up in the grocery store shelves come from other countries. So we have a couple of options here. I would love to get inflation down, but we are unlikely to see objective, raw, absolute price reductions, and we don't really want that. What we want to work on is getting inflation controlled, which it has been, and then getting wages up and getting GDP growth up and increasing dynamism and diversifying industries that a lot of the red states have one industry, diversifying that, improving the economy. No politician will say that. None of them will say that. And so instead, Trump is like, yeah, we're going to bring prices down, but like it's also kind of hard. I might not do it. My prediction, of course, is that we are not going to see prices decline in absolute numbers unless there's an economic disaster, but we will probably see them continue to increase, maybe at a slower rate, maybe at a faster rate. What do you think? info@davidpakman.com. Let me know. And also, huge announcement. We have surpassed 5,000 pre-orders for my forthcoming book. Now, when we get 60 million views a month on YouTube, 5,000, it seems like such a small number. The average book release only sells 200 to 600 copies. Even the average commercial book release with a real publisher, right? Not if you account for all the self-published stuff. Even commercial book releases only average about 2,000 copies ever. The book is 2 months away, and we have accumulated, it's about 5,100 pre-orders. I don't even know what to say. We are now starting to think about not whether it could make the New York Times nonfiction bestseller list, but where on that list might we be able to land. 5,000 might put us in the middle bottom, depending on what else comes out the same week. 10,000 positions this book with no legacy or corporate media support, with no contributorship of mine on CNN to boost sales, just with our grassroots independent platform. It positions the book to really get some attention. Barnes & Noble is now saying, we might actually do a big buy and put this book in our store. So the point here is, thank you. The free stuff that comes with pre-orders will continue to be available for all pre-orders up to the day before the book's release. And you can find it all at davidpakman.com/book. And you can also call any local bookstore and tell them, please order me David Pakman's The Echo Machine. They will get it for you, and it'll be available on the same release day as Amazon, Barnes & Noble, everybody else. So thank you. More about this later in the month. As Trump's inauguration approaches, we're already seeing what the next 4 years are going to look like. A Trump campaign official said Pennsylvania election workers will face jail time for counting mail-in ballots with technical errors like missing dates, part of the right's attempt to sow election distrust and weaponize the courts. This story is almost exclusively being covered by right-leaning news outlets spinning the narrative to villainize the election workers, so the public probably has a skewed perspective on what's really happening. That is, unless you use Ground News, which lets you see every side to every story like this one. Ground News is an independent platform that exposes the biases of media outlets by showing you who owns them, what angle they're taking on each story, and what hidden agendas might be lurking in the background. Ground News's daily briefings are a great way to stay informed without feeling overwhelmed. It gives a quick breakdown of the day's most critical stories from every angle. Go to ground.news/Pacman for 50% off their unlimited access Vantage plan. It's their biggest sale of the year, and the link is in the description.